Hello everybody! Today we're going to unbox the Havit HV-KB389L RGB LED backlit mechanical gaming keyboard with brown switches. Take a close-up look, plug it in and see it light up. So let's first take a look around the outside of the box. And let's flip it over. And here are some specifications of the keyboard. And okay, let's go ahead and slide off the sleeve so that we can open up the box. So there's a greeting there that says, "Enjoy what I have." And on the underside, the Havit logo. And now let's go ahead and just open up the box. And there we see the keyboard is in white. And let's remove the keyboard from its box and make sure that there's nothing else in there, but there sometimes is, and there is a keycap remover. Let's set that down to one side, and of course on the inside of the box. Thanks for choosing Havit. Okay, we're done with that, so let's set that to one side, and let's go ahead and remove the foam packaging on the sides of the keyboard. Okay, and we can put them to one side as well. Next, we can of course remove the polystyrene cover. And of course, remove the rest of the contents. Let's go ahead and set those down into one side for now. Make sure that there's nothing else hidden in the cover right there. And let me set the keyboard closer down to the camera. So that's the contents emptied out right there. So now let's go ahead and first take a look at what's included with the keyboard. So there is a customer satisfaction card, which is always good to see that the people at Havit are concerned about your satisfaction with their products. So we can go ahead and set it down into one side. And then moving on, we do have the user manual for the RGB LED backlit gaming keyboard. So there are plenty of settings to play around with, or modes, to this keyboard. And it does have full anti-ghosting keys, as well as programmable light and macro keys. Okay, let's go ahead and set the user manual down to one side as well. And now we could go ahead and start off with looking at the USB plug cable for the keyboard. It's nice to see that it is gold plated, so it does have that premium finish to it. Okay, let's now undo the cable tie. So it does have a soft plastic cover to the keyboard cable. Now very quickly undoing the keyboard cable length and then resetting the keyboard in the frame right there so that you have some sense of the length of the keyboard cable. Okay, so that's the length of the keyboard cable. And now we can take a close-up look at the KB389L keyboard itself. So it does have a soft white color to it. And in terms of weight, it is quite substantial, but not too heavy or not overly heavy, because I can feel the base of the keyboard or the underside of the keyboard is plastic, so it's not one of those keyboards from Havit which have a full metal construction that makes it super heavy. So as you can see on the underside, nice kind of matte finish to the underside as well, and it's white. And of course we do have the details of the keyboard right there, and of course it does have a pair of feet that flip out to raise or tilt the keyboard up one level. And of course there are 3 anti-slip pads at the front and anti-slip pads at the base of the stand or feet as well, and on the rear underside of the keyboard right there with the white and grey. So good to see all that. And of course the cable can be channeled to left, right or central positions, which is quite nice to see. That is a simple but very nice feature to have. And let me just set the keyboard down and flip those legs right in, and then just show you my hands on the keyboard for some perspective. Okay, so that's the size of the keyboard. It is a US layout keyboard. And let me just do a quick So that's just a quick demo of the key press sound, and it feels nice and smooth with a very soft click to it, which is nearly undetectable. And let me bring the keyboard in closer so you can have a close-up look at the keys And then I'll press the keys again in just a moment. Just let me show you the keys. So it is a US layout keyboard, as you can see, the $sign on the number 4. And as with any of Havit's gaming products, we will see the Magic Eagle branding on them. So there we go. And it does have a integrated wrist rest for the keyboard, as you can see. So it is a fairly large size keyboard. Let me show you the edges or sides of the keyboard. So the middle layer, as you can see, will actually illuminate. So that will be something we'll see in just a few moments. So right round the side of the keyboard, that middle layer will actually illuminate. Okay, so we've now seen the keyboard up close, and of course, as promised, you can't really feel the click at all with these switches, the brown switches. So they are Kailh switches, brown Kailh switches on this keyboard. So there's no real distinct click to the key presses at all. Okay, so now let's go ahead and plug in the keyboard and see it light up. And as always, I have my trusty Alienware M17XR3 laptop here to the side, so I'll just leave it to the side. And all we need to do is plug the USB connector right in, and you can see the keyboard awaken. And let me shift the laptop further out of the frame so we can center the Havit keyboard right here. And it's nice to watch the keyboard doing its thing. So we'll just observe for a few moments. So you can see the myriad of colors waving from left to right. And of course the colors are actually cycling as well, so that wave you see has a graduation in colors. So if we look more closely, we can actually see the actual colors all shift together to the right. Okay, so let's test out some of the functions with the LED modes of the keyboard. So let's do the function up to raise the brightness, and function down to lower it or turn it off completely. Okay, so for the purposes of this demonstration, let's just raise it to the maximum brightness for maximum visibility. And now I can bring the keyboard up close. So it's still in its original startup mode. And just to show you the edges or border of the keyboard, very nice indeed. That goes all around the edge of the keyboard, which is quite nice to see. And of course the rear as well. So nice glow all around the middle tier or middle layer of the keyboard. And then let me bring the keyboard up close so you can see the colors a little bit more clearly and how they light up the keys through the alphanumerics of the keycaps. Of course, this keyboard also has a win-lock function just by pressing and holding function and the Windows key, and that will prevent the Windows key from triggering while you're playing your game. So that's pretty standard nowadays, but always good to know. Now let's test out the color modes or lighting effects. So there's quite a bunch, so this might take a while to get through, and hopefully I don't miss anything. If I do, so be it. Okay, so we've played around with the brightness adjustment with the function up arrow to raise the brightness, function down to lower it, of course. And what we can do now is play around with the speed. So function right, let me do it with two hands or fingers so you can see more clearly what I'm pressing. So function right will increase the speed of the effect. It's nice to see that the LEDs for the different key functions light up to show you that you're actually triggering the actual key command. So, okay. So let me raise it as high as I can. So that's the maximum speed for this scrolling color. And then we can lower it right down. So that it almost seems like it's breathing. I've just raised it up one level. And now you can see it scroll from left to right with a few more colors on the keyboard. So the faster we go, the more colors we see at the same time. Okay, and I think that's maximum because we saw the all four LEDs light up just above the alphanumeric keypad on the right hand side. So let's do it quickly again. So let's go all the way down. So there's about 4 or 5 levels to the speed for this mode. Okay, now let's try another mode. So let's do function, insert, and see what happens with that one. Okay, so you've seen the lights go out. Let's go ahead and type. So So we can see that the keys light up. Right there. And let me just mute the laptop speaker. So there we go. So you can see the different keys light up right there with the function insert toggle. Let's try function insert again. So now we are in a different mode. So this one has a rippling effect with the key pressed. It's nice to see. Okay, so that was the rippling effect. Let's go function insert again and see what we get with this one. So we see a solid red. And the colors just seem to fade out, or the lights appear to fade out just around and on the key that I press. Okay, let's go function insert again for the next mode. Okay, so now what's happening? It is in a breathing or slow pulse mode. Let's see if we can increase the speed of this mode by pressing function and right. Okay, so it just appears to be a steady fading in and fading out breathing mode. Let's see if I can lower the speed. There doesn't seem to be any impact with the speed change as far as my eyes can tell. Let's go on to the next one by pressing function insert and see if we can find another mode. Okay, so this is the color mode with the keys. So the keys will light up or have a single color for each key. So there's no changes, but they all have their own cool colors. Okay, so I think we've covered the modes for the function insert toggle. So let's go back to the default mode, if there is a default mode. Okay, so let's just go back to this mode with the multicolored keys and press function. Let's try print screen and see if that does anything. Okay, no effect there. Function scroll lock. Okay, now we're getting red lighting up on the keys, and that was function scroll lock. So let's do function scroll lock again, and this time round we do have green instead, and function scroll lock again, and this time we do have blue. Function scroll lock again, yellow. Function scroll lock again. And on to the next color, we have purple or violet. And do function scroll lock again. And we do have cyan now. Function scroll lock. And now we have white. And function scroll lock again. Back to the original setting that we came from, which was the multicolored keys. Okay, and let's do function pause, see what that does. Okay, so we do have a fully red light or red lit keyboard with colors showing through when the keys are pressed. So that was function pause. I have to be careful what I'm pressing because it's doing funny things on my computer. I should do a screen lock, just bear with me. There we go. So and what have we done? Let's go function pause again. So back to the red, function pause, and then we do have the solid green. So this just toggles through what it appears to a standard full solid or static color lighting mode. Okay, so you are having a look at the fixed solid colors. And white should be the last color. There we go. So let's do that again very quickly. Red, green, blue, yellow, violet or purple, light blue or cyan, white, and then back to off. So you can turn the backlighting off. So just toggling very quickly through the colors. And so we're back to off again. Now let's try function. We've tried function insert, haven't we? Yes, we have. That was the first thing we tried. So let's go function. I'm trying to turn it off, so can't do it that way. Have to toggle through. And what did we do? What were we on? Function insert. Okay, let's try something else. Function home. So function home is a fading in, fading out, breathing mode, as you can see. And of course we can lower the, oh, that's the brightness, I beg your pardon. I was trying to increase this, I was trying to lower the speed. So function down brings it right down. As you can see, a very smooth glow and fade out and change from one color to the next. And of course we can do function right to raise the speed of the effect. Okay, let's try the next mode. We just did function home, didn't we? So function page up and see if there's anything there. Okay, beg your pardon. That was the effect that we just tried. So let's go function page down. See what we've got. And we actually should pay attention to the border, which I've just noticed. With function page down, we're actually changing the edge lighting of the keyboard. As you can see, when I press it, the surrounding color changes. So let me do function page up again, just so we got something happening there. Or we can actually turn it off if we can get into the right mode. Okay, we'll just leave it like that so you can focus on the edge lighting. So function page down changes the colors to the edges of the keyboard. So is anyone keeping track of the colors? I'm just tapping away. Okay, so I think we probably covered all the possible options for this color mode around the keyboard edge. Okay, let's do function end now and see what happens. And let's increase the speed, function right. So that was the startup mode that we saw, or the standby mode. And if we press function end again, it goes the other way. So now the light is sweeping or waving from right to left. Okay, so that's nice to see that you can toggle it to go either ways. So function end will toggle this waving lighting mode from left to right or right to left. Okay, so now let's try function delete. And function delete again. And function delete. So function delete just disables the backlighting completely, including the edge lighting. So that's good to see that there is just a simple, straightforward function delete to toggle the lights off completely. And function page down, as you can see, turn the edge lighting back on. It's amazing that I actually remembered that. Okay, so there you go. And I'm sure there's some way to toggle the effect instead of just leaving it at a static color. But of course, always read the user manual before trying to operate any kind of electronic or mechanical product or device. Okay, so I've kind of played around with all the 9 keys around here with the combination of the function keys and as well as the cursor keys to adjust the brightness and the speed of the lights. So let's see what else we can trigger or set. Let's set it back to the default mode, which I think kind of showcases the keyboard's lighting capability. And of course we should have the edge lighting as well. Okay, so the edge lighting now is toggled into the automatic cycling mode. So it's just a case of turning on the edge lighting or surround lighting function page down. So if we toggle through, there are solid modes as well as that cycling mode, which I believe starts at this color. Let's see if I'm right. Nope. So just got to figure out which color it starts at. What we could simply do is once again do function delete, turn it off completely, function page down. Okay, maybe we need some light first with the function end and then function page down. And okay, so nice to see that the edge lighting, nope, I thought it was in the automatic cycling mode, not quite. we'll get there at some point. Is it changing right now? Well, it does take a few moments to see it happen. And let's try something else instead. Perhaps that way. It might activate the edge lighting to automatically cycle. So as I've mentioned, always read the user manual. Don't do what I do to figure out the lighting effect mode for the edge. So right now, I managed to get it into the edge color changing mode by pressing function print screen. So we got there in the end. Whether that was the right way about it, I don't know. Okay, there's also one more thing. There is a customizable color mode, so that's done by pressing function 1, 2, or 3 for the presets, and then function 11 to tell it that you're setting the color. So what we can do is set different colors for the keys. As you can see, so just like that, we have set. That's of course not a good way about it. You need to know what you're doing. So very simply, let's maybe spell out something. So we could have something like that. Not sure how well you can see that, but just by multi-tapping or just tapping on the keys over and over again will change the color until you find the one that you like. So right now, I'm trying to change the, so it's now spelled LOL, just like that. Function 11 to save it, or yep, and then function F1 will bring it back to that preset. So you can select the presets F1, function 1, 2, or 3 for the 3 different slots. So that was nice and easy. And let's get out of this mode and see if we can get back to the standard or default lighting mode. So that's the Havit HV-KB389L RGB LED backlit gaming keyboard with brown switches. Thanks for watching and happy gaming!